WP for long enough that he can bring it back into the fight, but a bolt and a clap goes off to kill a priest, and it looks like a footman will go down as well. Another priest being picked up, very nice, and a nice micro here actually by Kenshin, but he's just taking a bit more damage. He probably should be level 4 now on this Mount King, who does still have some very good items that can be used later in this battle. Priest being killed with a bolt, and it looks like Kenshin being a bit outgunned here, losing another priest as well. He does only one priest left now at this point. Zeppelin comes in but doesn't manage to get it in time to save that Shredder, which is just so important, just because it gives a whole bunch of experience, and also it's can become crucial to your lumber economy if you want to move out of casters at any point. And looks like we're seeing a lot of damage now being done to breakers, which is a good choice. This Mount King running into the battle has enough mana for a bolt, does use it on the priest, and this priest can be focused down as well. Only one priest left, but look at all these low units being nicely microed with the Zeppelin. It's so nice to see. There's just so much potential within Zeppelins to be doing amazing things. And again, those breakers being picked up as soon as they start to be focused, and there's Naga going to be picked up as well. Very nice play here, and the Naga now going to try and focus down a couple of the returning units, but obviously without being able to use cold arrows, really that Naga's effectiveness is limited, and so going to probably hope to try to get a priest. But I think the boots have been passed. 2 boots, maybe. I guess there must have been a boots drop here. Very nice there, because that's going to allow the Naga to catch up and do a bit of slowing just as you want to pass the boots to the Mount King, which has happened. So both players obviously transferring their boots to the or at least in WP's case, Kenshin didn't have to decide, but you want to transfer your boots to the hero that can chase down other units and do some sort of slowing, so either the Mount King with his bolt or the Naga with the cold arrows. But this Naga still very behind in experience, even after quite a good fight there by Kenshin. I was really impressed with the Zeppelin micro there, and it looks like a couple priests being brought out as well as some breakers to do some creeping here. No militia being brought, but certainly it's not necessary actually if you want to expand. You can bring them in peasant form, and they'll actually you won't have to wait for them to get out of militia form. Meanwhile, this bloodlusted Mount King now going to be able to do a whole bunch of damage, but obviously with no bash, the bloodlust is much less effective, and so he's just going to need to make sure he doesn't actually do too much tanking, because it's going to take a while to heal up that Mount King, and you'd rather have a lot of units slightly damaged so that all your priests can be healing simultaneously. And meanwhile, we're seeing some nice creeping here by Kenshin, who's just creeping as a Naga, obviously, but keeping his Archmage close by just in case a fight does happen. But Archmage now quite close to 6, or at least halfway to 6. And the Naga now hitting level 4. Meanwhile, we are seeing 5, and that's very shallowly 5 compared to 4.5 here. So hero levels have actually gone considerably now in Kenshin's way. That's quite nice for him, or not too much, but I mean it's certainly it's alright. But as I say, that really high level Mountain King is much better than a really high level Naga basically, so you do have to be a bit careful with that. And Tome of Strength and Rune Bracers being picked up there by Yo, and obviously lots of Rune Bracers here this game, and it's just not too important an item in this matchup. As I say, the Archmage is going to have to run back to pick it up just to deny it from anyone else at picking it up, and it looks like this Mountain King's so close to levels 5 now. Gonna hope to get a kill maybe before he uses a bolt. We'll have to see. He does have a lot of mana though, yes, so he uses one and does get that level 5 with that first kill from the bolt. Nice play there, and the Mountain King still has 200 mana in the bank. And meanwhile, it looks like a lot of focus going down on this water element. I'm gonna try and take it down early because they put out so much damage when they're at level 3. Nice micro. Look at the Zeppelin picking up all these low priests, bringing them to the back where they can heal each other up in safety. And this Archmage maybe should try and get on that, because the Archmage does have good range. And meanwhile, nice healing being done there to get all those back up to full health. But the Mountain King being brought into an excellent position, doing a very nice clap, but more nice micro on the Zeppelin, picking up those priests and just running away yet again. And a really fantastic play here by Kenshin, who's really was playing from behind for a bit. And this one breaker is going to go down, but it looks like a TP going to go off and maybe going to save the rest of these units for WP. Yeah, that one low breaker being saved at 70 hit points, and a couple of these low priests really being kept alive fantastically. One of these breakers being rallied. Very big mistake here, but it looks like because you can't slow it or anything, that breaker just can manage to walk out of there, and some priests will be able to heal it up, so it's not too huge a loss there for WP, and it actually means that Kenshin had a bit of his time wasted. So not the biggest of mistakes, but certainly indicative of perhaps larger mistakes, and perhaps slightly sloppier play, or getting a bit tired after 20 minutes of playing very intensively against a very solid player. And looks like we're going to be seeing some very aggressive creeping here. Really, if he can bring his Archmage back now, he could get level 5 or very close to level 5, I'm not sure, on his Naga now, and that would just be so useful. And Gem of Health being picked up by that Archmage. Nice there, almost 1,000 hit points now on that Archmage, but probably going to be better on that Naga actually. It's a bit iffy really. It's nice on either against that Mount King certainly. And although certainly when you get this sort of really huge number of casters, it doesn't become about hero focus, even with that Mount King, so much. Just focusing down the priest and things like that, and then just trying to get into good position as possible so you can focus down breakers later on by just having sort of superior numbers and also better focusing power, better ability to pull units back. And one bloodlusted priest here fortunately can't heal any faster, which would be pretty nifty, but that's not too big a deal really, because it'd just be dispelled or stolen by the breakers so quickly anyways. And it looks like these breakers being rallied into the army of WP, but are pulled back. And meanwhile, another Arcane Vulcan to go down. I think this is the second time it's gone down now for Kenshin, and he built it so late anyways. He's bought barely any items from it, but I mean, they're not too important items. You can even get at the Arcane Vault once you have your priest out, because you don't need the healing as much, and once you have your level 5 Archmage, you don't need the mana regeneration as much. But it looks like a lot of focus going down on this Archmage. Fork Lightning not being used on it though by Kenshin. I'm not a bit surprised by that. And Amino, a lot of focus going down on this Naga, but being picked up by that Zeppelin yet again. Really, really nice play here. And looks like Priest actually being focused down. And we can see really bad positioning here by Kenshin, having all his really weak casters being in the middle of the army of WP, and even bringing in some militia now as well. And this should be a sign for Kenshin that he should be bringing in some militia as well, despite the fact he has a huge number of breakers. And it looks like this one priest actually, two priests being focused down there. And so we can see Kenshin does have a lot of breakers left, but he doesn't have a lot of too much else left, which is a bit worrying for him. And, level 6 goes off for that Archmage, and level 5 for the Naga simultaneously. Very, very nice. And inbound pop being used on that Naga just to be safe, just because he was in such a bad position. Fork Lightning going off, and this Archmage TPing away with 9 hit points. Really, really close there, but WP played that so perfectly. Oh my god, he's missed his Mount King now. He gets off a bolt, and so we've definitely had this scene. And this Mount King does have an inbound pop, which he might want to use now, but he has been slowed with 2 different types of slowing, and he gets surrounded even though he uses an inbound pot. Oh my god, I can't believe he made that mistake. After having that huge hero save, he just misses out on that blatantly obvious thing. And it looks like the rest of his army is running in to try and help, to try and get some free hits in, but it's just not going to be enough damage to be anywhere near an equivalent, as Mount King is going to go down. And I wonder if even using that, if he's regarding now using that invuln pot, which he could have saved for later once he's back. But this is a bad position now for WP, and meanwhile Kenshin going to capitalize this in every way he can. Just going to take this fight, and we can see that I'm not really sure WP should have run back into this fight. He's certainly going to be able to do a bit of damage. Now, he's healed up his Archmage, which was being focused so much that he actually built up a bit of an army advantage, but still with 2 heroes against 1, it's just so hard to fight. And this level 6 Archmage now we're going to have mass DP as well, presumably, so we'll be able to get out of this fight very, very easily. And the priest should be focused down by Kenshin, but it looks like some nice position actually by WP, going to stop any breaker incursions into the back lines. And these water elementals now putting out so much damage, it's just so brutal. And level 6 now on this Archmage. We could see a mass DP being used. Hopefully he'll realize that he needs to bring all his units within a very small radius if he wants to use it. No, he's actually running home. That's very surprising to me, considering there's no way for Kenshin to actually cancel that until he gets level 6 and he gets his Cyclone, and even that's sort of quite an extreme way just to cancel all mass TP, but certainly cancelling out mass TP is actually really nice. I think he just sold his I think WP just sold his TP. I'm not sure what his item there was, but I vaguely recall it being a TP, so that would be a pretty gutsy move. Now it means that he's pretty confident in his play, and looks like all these peasants now running down. Gonna be able to take an expansion there. As I say, it's not worth turning them into militia form just because it takes so long to get out of militia form. I mean, obviously it doesn't take long enough for most situations, but just in this rare situation where you want to have peasants back and you can't, you have no way of turning them back manually. It's a bit annoying. Meanwhile, a nice reveal here being used, but 3 peasants just being sent into the gold line. I guess Kenshin doesn't actually have a huge amount of gold, and he's the maidens have now run out, so we're gonna have to see what WP can do here. He had a good advantage for a small amount of time, but he's fallen behind a bit, and this Mountain King only halfway back at the moment. I'm not sure if he had trouble buying it back just because of not having enough gold, but maybe that's why he sold his. No, I was thinking maybe that's why he sold his tweet, but it was certainly the revival had already started then. And heading to the mana, 760 maximum mana on this Naga, much more than he's ever going to be able to use. And mass TP being used here, bringing him right into the middle of the this creeping army, and without a TP, this is so bad now for WP, who's going to lose a couple of units, or 1 unit in the water elemental, and just the creeping as well. Creeping actually gives no real purpose apart from giving a bit of gold here and denying the creeps to WP, but also it's going to give him a bit of extra gold, going to allow him to power build with. Ooh, actually no, he's finished his mine now anyways. So I mean, a bit of extra gold is always nice, and also he's managed to steal a whole bunch of inner fires as well. Ooh, one breaker being just left here and gonna be chased down, but managed to get away. Very very nice there. And meanwhile that Mountain King's ought to be close to back. Yeah, the Mountain King's almost back now. It's going to rejoin the battle, and we're going to have to see some good focusing, but as I say, that high level Mountain King can be so deadly, but with a 800 health Naga and a 1025 hit Archmage, hit point Archmage, it's just so tricky to actually find something good and easy to focus down where you can actually kill it before the rest of your army is taken down. And with Kenshin having this expansion as well, that's a good position for him to be in, as long as he can actually do some, as long as he can avoid the fight for long enough, the economic advantage pays off. And we can see that WP is really desperate for a fight. He's already killed one priest with this bolt, and he's gonna be able to do a lot more damage as well. Going for a bolt there, gonna be able to do a lot of damage to this Archmage, who does have an invuln pot, does use it immediately. Obviously, mass TP can't be used by Kenshin to get away because of that bolt threat, and Mountain King now running with no mana left. Gonna need to buy an invuln pot, but probably doesn't have the gold. Gonna need to sell some items first. Sells one item, buys the staff of teleportation. Gonna use that to get out of here. Will he manage to? Down to 100 hit points, down to 12 hit points, and he gets away. Oh my god! And meanwhile, we've seen a lot of damage being done to Kenshin's army because he spent all of his focus on that one Mountain King. Oh my god, that was so close. Now, meanwhile, we're gonna need to see WP try and find a balance between buying time to heal up his Mountain King and pushing before the economic advantage really starts to kick in hugely, because this mine is now massively oversaturated, and we're seeing the push now coming straight here by Kenshin, and we can see that he's throwing hazards to the wind. Gonna say, I want to get that, I want to hit before that Mountain King has a huge amount of mana and health back, and I don't really care about my health or my gold advantage. And meanwhile, where's the Archmage? Archmage lagging so far behind, has gone to the shop to buy a TP though. That's probably a good choice just to play it safe at this point, because he does certainly have an advantage, but it's not as big as you might imagine. Meanwhile, Bolt comes in here. There's not going to taking a lot of focus. Does have an invuln pot if he needs to use it, which he does really at this point. Needs to be so careful though. Being healed up constantly by those priests is very nice. And if that Naga now hits level 6, the Zeppelin actually comes in as well, which is nice. Invuln pot being used, and I think that Bolt was just about to go off there by that Mountain King. Oh, maybe not, I don't know. And a lot of focus being done here on these sort of individual units, which is really nice here by both players. But it looks like a lot of focus going down actually now on the Zeppelin. The Naga has been healed up a bit because those priests are so useful, especially when you have an invuln pot going. And meanwhile, these water elementals just do so much damage to priests. Really nice thing to be focusing down there if you can. Bolt going off on that Archmage, who's so close to level 7 now. All that mana regeneration could be so useful. Just even though, I mean, more so for the priests and everything rather than the heroes, which is basically unlimited mana. But a lot of focus going down. This Mountain King managed to run away. Does hit level 6, so we could be seeing Avatar if he can regenerate the mana quickly enough. But he's also at such low health. We know the Archmage being chased back into the back of his base as well. And oh my god, looks like this Mountain King now in a lot of trouble. Going to be focused down, and there's nothing he can do about that. And this Archmage now going to be focused down as well. There's the GG. All the chickens come to roost at once for WP. What an amazingly close game. So many saves there. Very nice Zeppelin use. Nice buying of that staff as well. I really thought that WP was going to buy an invuln pot and try and make a run for it, but instead he made an interesting choice. It certainly worked out for him, so props to him, but I really didn't think it was going to work at all. So what an amazing game. I really hope you enjoyed that game, folks. I'll try and bring you some more games in the near future. Thanks.